Welcome back, everyone. So I haven't played as much Star Citizen recently. I did get into the Wildgate preview, and I'm working on putting together that video. It's taking a long time because there's so much video for that. So I don't know how long it's going to be. But anyways, I'm looking forward to that. I've been enjoying that game quite a bit. So yeah, and that's a time-limited piece. So I've been really trying to get in and dive into that quite a bit. That being said, we're looking at Star Citizen today, and a lot of people have already talked about this, but I wanted to take a look at the ships that are coming potentially during Fleet Week, as well as we'll take a look back again. I want to try to focus on ships. I looked at some of the other stuff in the other video, and it was taking longer and longer, so this is take two. So for Fleet Week this year, again, I've already talked a little bit about this, but I want to bring this back in with what we have with this news as well. I'll put in the description this particular link. I'm also going to have some audio files I'll be sharing from the Pipeline Discord. Those are in the Reddit as well if you want to take a look through Reddit, the Star Citizen. Anyways, up to you if you want to take a look for that. So Fleet Week is going to be towards the end of next month. So we're a little over a month away. We're not at the 15th now, so it's still going to be quite a few days before we're a month away, but we're getting there because we're on the 12th today as I'm recording this. So the Idris tour is going to take place at Area 18. So there is a leaked file to confirm that. So that is good unless they make change. I mean, I guess they could always change the patch and it could just be playing us for fools. But I think largely speaking, there's going to go ahead and be this tour.
Ready to witness the might of the Empire firsthand? Join us for the Aegis Idris experience, your chance to see one of the premier capital ships of the Navy up close and personal, exclusively at the IO North Tower rooftop located in ArcCorp Plaza.
Yeah, so at Area 18, there'll be an option to go to the Edge Tour, which I'm excited for. I do like that it's from the ground level. We'll see how it does with all the players there. They usually have them flying around and touring the different space stations, so it'll be interesting to take a look at that. It's been updated, so there'll be an updated Idris there, I imagine, to take a look at. There should be the missile room for everyone to kind of see. A lot of that's been leaked anyways, but looking forward to see how the Idris plays out there and seeing the new updates. The XO and the captain's quarters, I imagine, will still be off limits. Possible flyable ships and displays. This is really very exciting stuff. So it looks like the TAC will be there. There's some audio files as well for that. So I think that the TAC will be something that will be around.
If someone has misplaced their leather jacket near the Starlancer TAC, please report to Lost and Found.
So that really leads credence to the fact that there probably is going to be the TAC out and about. So I think it will be, in fact, flyable. Here's more details on the TAC just in general.
Built for deep space patrol, the Starlancer TAC from MISC is outfitted for serious offense and defense, thanks to its substantial armament, snub hangar, and medbeds.
Yeah, so looking forward to the TAC. I'm not super big fan of the Starlancer Max thus far. I don't like the piloting view. I just don't. So I don't know if it's something I'll keep. I do currently have it in my hangar, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. But I don't know if it's something for me that I'll stick with. The Starlancer builder, it looks like they believe it'll be a display, which I agree. I mean, this is just really an assumption here. There's nothing to go off of as far as any leaks that I'm aware of. I just think it's something that'll probably be out and about for you to take a look at from a digital standpoint, like a 3D rendering that'll be floating around like they have for displays. So, Anvil Paladin being flyable. This is a big one. I'm looking forward to this. I hope this is in fact true. The Anvil Paladin, I think, is exactly what I want the Valkyrie to do. It has the right HP, it has the right shielding, and it has the right firepower. The difference is the Valkyrie doesn't. It has the ability to actually store. So if you're doing a bounty hunting mission, for example, you can throw boxes in the back of the Valkyrie and go sell that. You're not going to have that possibility with the Paladin. So it also possibly helps fill a bit of a gap around being able to fight a Polaris, because currently the Polaris, the really only way to fight a Polaris is another Polaris, or maybe like an A1 if you're in Atmo, because if you're not near Atmo, A1 can't drop its bombs. So you need something like a Eclipse, and you shoot the torpedo, things of that nature. You need some sort of bomber. That leads into the next thing here. And so the Paladin could help because it has 4 size 4s and I think 4 size 5s. Right now, people bring Corsairs and Connies necessarily into the fight to try to take. They can make the shields down and they can help take the ship down, but it does take a lot of damage even if you have full attritions. Looking here at the Guardian here, this is going to be a heavy hitter with missile variant. So much like you see the Small Fury MX, I think that's where the MX comes from. Their Guardian MX would potentially be a heavy ordnance missile, basically a small torp boat. So we don't know what size the missiles would be. It could be size 5s. That's what I'm thinking, more or less, like the Gladiator. But it could be bigger ordnance somewhere between the Eclipse. I don't think it'll be Eclipse torpedoes. That would be wild, though. It would be something like 1 on each wing, maybe. Fitting 4 torps size 9s like that would be awesome, but I think it's highly unlikely. Under the wings, it would be, unless they go on the outside, who knows? We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But I think having 4 size 5s seems believable to me. But then it's not as competitive against the Gladiator. The Gladiator would be a better ship at that point. So we'll see what they come up with, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't have any audio files for that, just that it's basically confirmed that they're working on that. There's going to be some new torpedoes as well, which allow not only cross-section, because I think right now just cross-section is what's made available with the size 10 that's in the Polaris, but there'll be electromagnetic and IR variants as well. I could be wrong on that. People will let me down below. Oh, they're electromagnetic now. So whatever it may be, these 2 size 10s that are coming out and other size 12s are going to be alternatives to what's already made available in the game. There's some more missions and stuff here, and Wicklow will have some new. The ones that stood out to me as the Firebird will be a potential pickup. You can these are things you can turn in for favors for Wicklow, and you can get these particular ships. And the Starlancer Max. These 2 are the ones that stood out, but the Zeus will be made available. The Intrepid will be made available, as well as the Peregrine. This is an event, global event. It's not really a race per se, as much as it's to help with the regeneration from medical gameplay. Players aren't being affected by this, but supposedly the NPCs are being affected by these weird regeneration health problems that we need these eggs for. So yeah, there's a new research facility that'll be made available with an event. Not a lot of details on that. There's going to be some new currencies made available. And along with the currency made available, there's going to be kind of mercenary awards that will be around during Invictus. So it'll be interesting to see if those rewards could potentially be from the mercenary, if that will be something that is these scripts, or if it'll be something unrelated.
Proud UEE Navy partners, the Mercenary Guild, are thrilled to offer attendees of this year's Invictus a chance to earn valuable prizes that have been hidden throughout the hall. The more you explore, the more you can win.
Yeah, so this could be this mercenary scripts that you might be able to find and then use those to turn in for certain items. We'll see. It could be totally unrelated. It could just be other mercenary type items from the Mercenary Guild that you might be able to find. It's hard to say. In the Chinese New Year recently, they have the little red envelopes. So if you could turn those in for something besides just money, that would be pretty interesting to see. And you might see more people do it. Council scripts as well. I think the council is meant to be, meant to be like a piracy type council. So it'd be interesting to see if this is going to start to grow the capability for people to maybe turn these scripts in to own a ship temporarily that they might have stolen or something like that. I don't know. I could be totally reaching there. Hunt for the Polaris. So there's going to be a ship that goes missing in the event.
Apologies again for the missing exhibit. If anyone has any information regarding the current whereabouts of the exhibit they'd like to share, please contact Event Security.
So we don't know. For that, it's pretty vague, but it's possible it could be the Polaris that goes missing. Hopefully, they'll let people take a walk around in it first before they yank it out of the event. Because I imagine some people still want to take a walk around in it, especially those that might be trying Fleet Week for the first time. Yeah, so it's possible it's going to go missing, or there's going to be supposedly there's going to be a hunt for Polaris because of the Freedom Fighters. So looking forward to that. There's some new ambush missions and security patrol missions. I recommend you come take a look at this. I will put this in the description. So the ambush is like you're waiting at a certain spot for another ship to come by, so you can attack them and not let them get too far away. Security patrol is security patrol, fairly straightforward. New mission changes, so there'll be some other changes going on with the missions. Not seeing a lot, though, with missions that are broken currently that need to be fixed. So hopefully they'll be doing some of that as well. New location stuff. The paints is where I wanted to also take a look at. Now, I don't know if it'll be a gray camo, a black camo, and a red camo, or if it's saying it's a gray, black, and red camo, which I think is probably what it's indicating here. So it says paints, but I think it's probably one paint of these 3 colors, but it could be a gray camo and a black camo and a red camo. We'll have to see, but they have the Idris listed here. This is very surprising to me. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. Maybe there's been other Idris paints, and people will let me know down below. Like there's been hundreds of Idris, and there hasn't been, but it's interesting to see a Idris being focused like this with a paint. So I think it leads a bit of credence too that they're working pretty heavily to get this out along with Squadron 42, or maybe we'll get it sooner. That'd be great too. I don't have the Idris, so it'd be interesting to still see him in the verse. The constellation here, I'm happy to see this, so I'm looking forward. If there's a black camo, I'll be looking for that. If not, if it's all 3, I'll probably end up still looking at this pretty heavily. The Polaris as well, and then the Hammerhead. So quite a few, maybe even the Gladius might look good, but we're looking at all these, and so they typically have paints made available for military type ships like they have here during Fleet Week. So looking forward to that. additional ships. Let's take a look at these. So this is where I'll start to kind of lean into this as well. But the Adgard. So the Anvil Asgard, I can say it, is going to be a heavy-duty transport.
Deploying the Navy's heavy hitters to where they're needed most requires a heavy-duty transport, like the fleet's latest addition, the Anvil Asgard.
Yeah, so looking forward to Asgard. Let's listen to it one more time. The question is, have this in your mind. Do you think this is going to be a heavy-duty ground transport or a heavy-duty air transport?
Deploying the Navy's heavy hitters to where they're needed most requires a heavy-duty transport, like the fleet's latest addition, the Anvil Asgard.
Yeah, so I think it's weird to see Anvil offering this and the Liberator. It's also possible this could be a much bigger ship and competitor to something like the Idris. So I would love to see it as an Idris/Kraken competitor for heavy transport. Offering a flat top that's more competitive to the Kraken would be really great. But there's people here, they believe it'll be ready for Fleet Week. So I don't know about that. If it's going to be something like an M2 competitor, I don't know. I'm just not sold on the idea it's going to be ready to go by now, or it might be ready more around the idea of IAE week, IAE. So yeah, I don't know. It's possible it could be ready. It's possible it may not be, but it's a heavy duty transport. So let me know if you think it's going to be a ground transport. But I think it's weird to me if it's going to be a ground transport when you have the Liberator the way it is right now. I would like to see the Liberator offered as maybe only an air transport, if largely an air transport, if they want to make a heavy transport as for ground vehicles for the Asgard, for the Anvil. Because I think it's just two competitors. It's the same ship essentially, and you just have to pick between the two. Do you want a ground transport? Do you want an air transport? Whereas Liberator does a bit of both, but neither one very well. So, I mean, you can maybe make an argument. You can carry quite a few tanks, but so does the Ironclad coming out. So yeah, I think it's gonna make the Liberator. Maybe they're reworking a bit, but I don't know. They already sold the Liberator, so I don't know how much they can actually make changes to the Liberator as the way it is now, because they've sold it the way it is. We'll have to see how the Asgard comes out and how it might fit and do something the Liberator doesn't do. Because again, and also they're not supposedly not working on Anvil ships, but they're working on quite a few Anvil ships, right? We've got the Paladin, we have this ship, the reworks because of the Paladin, a little bit of a Carrack update. So I do want to see them work on Anvil, so I do like that. But it's interesting it's not listed as a ship manufacturer they're really supposedly working on. But again, I like to see that because Anvil does have a pretty light lineup. But at the same time, stuff like the Liberator is still out there, and I'm looking forward to have that in the verse as well. Graycat. So there's going to be a Graycat MTC. So that is something that'll be coming out as well. That's already been largely confirmed through this.
Graycat has taken its tough-as-nails know-how and combined it with mil-spec hardware to bring their latest vehicle to the front lines with the MTC Mobile Tactical Center.
Yeah, so the MTC is basically confirmed. The MXC is found in the files with a tow hook, so it's hard to say if it's going to be if it's just a similar name that they use, like essentially like a project name for it before the MTC was selected, or if it's a not a competitor but a variant. That's where this kind of comes into play. So this is the CSV. We don't know what this is yet. So is this going to be the command center with a little bit of a turret? I don't know. I'm not super sold on that. I do think this could be it. But also this could be just another Anvil ground vehicle. So it's hard to say. Let me know if you think it's going to be this particular ship. Possibly. It could be neither one of these two, right? So it could be neither one, but it could be one of these as well. We don't have a lot to go off of there. But looking forward to see what that mobile tactical center. Let's listen to the audio again one more time. See what you think about what that would actually entail.
Graycat has taken its tough-as-nails know-how and combined it with mil-spec hardware to bring their latest vehicle to the front lines with the MTC Mobile Tactical Center.
Yeah, so I don't even know what it means for a mobile tactical center, but looking forward to see how that could potentially play out. I took a look at this previously, but now let's take a look at this again with the idea that we have some of these ships in mind. So I'll go ahead and share a link to this as well. I think I maybe didn't do that last go around when I actually covered this, but hopefully I did. We'll see. Anyways, so the Golem and the Geo are out. So we've got those. Starlancer attack looks to like it'll be in our hands. Again, I suspect to start seeing that in game possibly a month from now when people are starting to see it on TTU. And then the Pioneer obviously is being worked. It's good to see it's gone through White Box, so it's going to be working quite along. So it's possible we could see Pioneer. They said it might not be ready with the original base building, but maybe with things being a bit behind schedule, we may see it by the end of the year, which would be pretty cool. Yeah. So unannounced ships. So there's an unannounced ship that successfully passed. It's basically done. So do you think that's going to be the Graycat that we just discussed? It's unannounced, so I don't think the Paladin would really fit in that particular box. Additionally, the Guardian. Do you think it possibly could be the Guardian that is worked on? But that is a variant of a ship, and I think they would specify that. So it's possible that this vehicle here might potentially be the Graycat that they were talking about. We just got done talking about. There's two other vehicles that received bug fixes and final content work ahead of their release. So there's two other ships there being listed. So we don't know what those are going to be. And another ship that's currently being prepared for its gray box gate review. So this one's not quite ready yet. This could be even the Paladin. I've got the Paladin on the original screen there. I would love to see that flyable on Fleet Week because it does probably use quite a few of the assets from the Valkyrie. But on the internal side, it's not. So it's possible it may not be ready and it might just have a video on its status or its state. And maybe it'll be ready later this year. But I think should be flyable. I don't know. I'm going to ride the cope that it's going to be possibly flyable. And we might see it in about a month's time as well, which would be pretty sweet. Looking forward to that. So it could be, again, it doesn't really talk about variants here, but it will down at the bottom. Moving on here, so that's 4 ships. That's 1 here. There's 2 that they were kind of being worked on in a 4th one here. This bug fixes on final content. I don't. I mean, it's 2 vehicles though, so it possibly, and it does say vehicles, so versus ships. They use vehicles and ships here pretty interchangeably. So because you see RSI ships here. So it's hard to say if these are in fact air vehicles or ground vehicles. That's something I discussed as well when I was talking about initially. The Apollo and the Perseus, those won't be ready till the end of the month, or end of the year. Sorry, that's really what this comes down to. So don't expect to see the Apollo or the Perseus. I know a lot of people wanted the Perseus to be out, but it's really only finished white box in March, so it's got to still go through gray box and final and things of that nature. So I don't expect to see the Perseus or the Apollo till the end of the year. Anyone that tells you different is selling you cope. We're continue on 3 unannounced ships. So there's a variant of a popular ship, which could be the Guardian. Who knows? It's possible it could be that. Also, technically, the Paladin may be seen as a variant, but it's not really a variant. So it's possible this right here that's passed through gray box review could be the Guardian. So that seems most likely where this could fit. And another variant is approaching gray box review. So is it possible they're doing with the Furies, the Fat Furies, what they're doing with the Guardians? So another variant example could be a racing variant for the Guardian. I don't know why they would have that, given it's such a big ship. I can't think of any other variants that they have with the Furies. They have the racing variant, they have the missile variant, and they have the regular shooting variant. I thought there were 4. I can't think of the 4th one if there is, but let me know what you think this variant might be. So 2 variants being worked on of other ships, while an all-new model is entering production and preparation for white box review in April. So, yeah, it's this one's not going to be ready till towards the end of the year. So there's quite a few ships here being discussed and different timings. But again, we know now about the Graycat. We know the Paladin's in the works. That was described. Well, I don't know if that's in the works. They actually have never really confirmed that or done much detail. I'm actually a little disappointed by the lack of detail about the Paladin thus far. That's just kind of a minor feedback thing, but they should have done a video on it when they originally announced it. I don't know why they haven't done more details on it, or done a dedicated video for it. We know about the Guardian, we know about the Graycat now, so there's Graycat will fit in these mixes as well. And then the TAC obviously is mentioned by name, and so it's ready to rock and roll more than likely. But yeah, let me know what you think some of these other variants might be. There hasn't been a whole lot of other leaks. There's just those few that we've found thus far. Anyways, thank you all for checking out the video, and I appreciate those that have taken time to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.